Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names, kicking candy ass, live and in living color here with you tonight, only on Grande's Graveyard. And welcome to this very special Black Friday edition of the one and the only Grande's Graveyard. And tonight we are talking about a one and only, a legendary filmmaker, not just the horror gothic genre, not just the giallo genre, but in all of film together, in my humble opinion. Big fan of this guy and his work, and I am very excited to discuss his movies here tonight. We picked out three, but of course, the man, the myth, the legend I'm talking about here tonight is none other than Mario Bava. And yes, I hope you've got your cups of Java, because I've got the box o' Bava. Yes, the Mario Bava collection here from Scheme Factory. I am ashamed to say I did contribute to Scream Factory with this, and they did find a way to scheme me out of this, so don't be mistaken. But this is something I'm happy to own. This is something that's really cool if you're a fan of the man. Really cool artwork here on the sides and stuff like this. And I will say, other than the Guitar Hero text at the bottom here, I'm a huge fan of this set otherwise, and most of the movies in it. Of course, though, we are going to be spotlighting three. Of course, last Black Friday, if you will, we did the Black Trilogy: Black Sabbath, Black Sunday, Blood and Black Lace. Tonight, I said, why don't we kind of switch it around? Why don't we do something else? Why not? We pick these three movies. And of course, first from 1966, this is a little horror movie that could, a little gothic horror movie that could. Mario Bava, and a movie that has scared me infinitely. No matter how many times I watch this movie, it just never fails to creep me out and scare me. And I think it's really effective in its scares. Of course, this is a little movie called Kill Baby Kill. Yes, Kill Baby Kill from 1966. Of course, one from the 70s, a lesser talked about Bava, but one that I think definitely deserves some discussion, some mention, in a movie that, of course, stars Telly Savalas playing the devil himself. Yes, I'm talking about right here tonight on Grande's Graveyard, Lisa and the Devil. And, of course, you also have the House of Exorcism on the bottom. We'll get to that. We'll get to what that is, what that means, and the whole nine yards. And then, of course, lastly but not leastly, we'll talk about Mario's one of his only descents into the exploitation genre, a movie that he had made, of course, in 1974, but did not see the light of day until 1997. And there's a lot of stories and controversies behind that. It goes through several different titles. Of course, some call it Rabid Dogs, others call it Kidnapped, which of course is here. And I also have the Kino Lorber release of Kidnapped, which is a really fine picture as well. And I really like all three of these movies. There's very few Mario Bava movies that I'm not into, but let's get to the chat. Let's see what you guys are talking about here. Only on Grande's Graveyard. Ciao, Grande Graveyardian friends. Happy Black Friday. Absolutely. Happy Black Friday to you too, Missy. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving with you and your family. What's up, Grande and chat? We got John Haddonfield, mascot in the house. Welcome, John. Hope all is well with you, buddy. Stukas Dive 3071. Welcome, Stukas. Of course, an Alfa Romero regular here, if you will, and I'm very happy to have you in the house, Stukas. Hope all is well with you. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. We're only 3/4 of the way live. Love Machine, are we? Are we only 3/4 of the way live? What do you mean? I think we're all the way live, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? By the way, I had a great Thanksgiving. Well, that's great, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Ciao, Grande. Mateo is here. Long live Mario, Giallo, and Slasher Pioneer. Lots of great movies, and undeniably a magnificent cinematographer. Pride of Italy. Hi to the whole graveyard. I happen to agree with everything you just said. Yeah, he is the pride of Italy. I'm a huge fan of Mario Bava cinema. And when I got this box set, I was like, you know what? I've got to do another Black Friday Mario Bava episode. So I was targeting this week specifically for this because I don't know, it just kind of goes together. Maybe every Black Friday we'll do Mario Bava movies until we run out, because we certainly could do quite a few. There's only 2 Mario Bava specific episodes that I've done to this point. So this would be fun to add to the collection here. You're not sitting on the casting couch, are you, Grande? Oh, okay, so I understand. Yeah, the graveyard looks naked without the posters. So there is a reason. There is a method to that madness. Unfortunately, my dear old dad is not feeling the greatest, so he's kind of living downstairs right now, until he feels better. So I said, you know what? I'm going to migrate upstairs. This is the room of Grande. This is why I'm so crazy, right? Because I look at a white wall all day. I bang my head against it. I wear a little straitjacket. That's why I'm so crazy, is because I live in the white room. You should play the song. In the white room is John Grande watching horror. Oh, yeah, you know it. let's see. Brian the Hitman Hadley's in the house. Ryan was actually on the graveyard last night as we went through our Black Friday shopping. So shout out to Ryan. Hope all is well with you. And I saw that you got some awesome pickups. Ciao, Mateo. Hey, love. Hey, Anthony. People saying hi to one another. People saying, yo, I was being a smartest. Dude, you're good. You're good. I'm sure people are wondering why the hell. So it's actually an easier way to break the news to people. I've heard of a green screen and a blue screen, but a gray screen. Even Slicer Fred is being smart here. So there we go. We're having some fun in Grande. It's really the wall is white, but because of the lighting, it looks like I'm in a gray room. I sincerely apologize for the boring background here today at Grande's Graveyard, but the show must go on. And of course, when it's Mario Bava, I'm very excited to discuss it here tonight. So very excited. We got 3 Mario Bava movies. And of course, absolutely no regrets on Grande's Graveyard. We're going to be cheersing with a nice little water. So I hope you and your families, if you're catching the replay or if you're watching this live, had a wonderful, safe holiday. Cheers to you guys. And we're going to get this show on the road. And I mean, I guess we can go in chronological order, if you will, in the ones that were released here. And that, of course, would kick us off in the 1960s. And it's funny, it's kind of perfect where we left off with the previous Black Friday stream where I discussed, Blood and Black Lace was the last movie we discussed on that stream. This was a movie that came out just 2 years later. Of course, after Blood and Black Lace came out, that was a big hit for Bava. He wanted to move on from the genre. He was kind of sick of making horror movies for no money. And then, of course, it would have been a bet with some Americans that said, hey, let's see you do that Gothic stuff again. Let's see you go back to the roots of Black Sunday and movies like that. And he was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for it. So what happened was he, instead of working with AIP again, and AIP, of course, had distributed, Black Sabbath in 1963, and that was the studio that he had worked on there. He didn't appreciate their interference. He didn't appreciate their distortion of the edit with the American cut of the picture. Of course, if you know the American cut of Black Sabbath, their stories are completely out of order, and the telephone segment is completely butchered. It's almost like you haven't seen Black Sabbath until you watch the actual Italian cut, and I was robbed of that for years because I'm in America. So it's unfortunate, but he teamed up with a one and only time producing duo, of course, Nadano Pisani and Luciano Catenacci of FUL Films. And this was a super, super low budget picture that was made under a budget of $50,000 American, which is insane to say and insane to think about, because this is a movie that was largely plagued by bad luck. It was almost like a black cloud hovered over the production of this movie. And of course, it's from 1966. It's a movie that I think is amongst one of his best. I think it's definitely one of the all-time great Gothic horror movies. And like I said, a movie that has scared the shit out of me ever since the first time I saw it. I'm talking about Kill, Baby Kill. Yes, brief plot synopsis. A Carpathian village is haunted by the murderous ghost of a little girl, prompting a coroner and a medical student to uncover her secrets while a witch attempts to protect the villagers. Yes, Kill, Baby Kill. Now, you hear that title, at least I did as a kid when I had first looked into this movie, and I'm thinking, I'm going to get another Blood and Black Lace. I'm going to get another Girl Who Knew Too Much. I figured we're going to get another Giallo-esque type of picture, and that's what I was looking forward to. I was very excited to see this movie when I first hit the play button, and that's not what this is. Despite its title of Kill Baby Kill, which to me does sound straight up like a Giallo, or even if it was an American picture, Kill Baby Kill sounds like something like I Drink Your Blood or Rabid or something exploitative. It doesn't really sound like what the movie that you get actually is, right? We actually get a return to the Gothic horror movie that Mario Bava made infamous with Black Sunday, a Gothic horror that I think he was the master of. I don't think any single filmmaker made a better horror Gothic films than Mario Bava. And like, this is a prime example of why he was so great at it. And to me, it's like one of his best movies for sure. I absolutely adore this movie from the first time I saw it. And, of course, it tells the story of this town that is plagued with it. It's got a death curse. Where's Crazy Ralph at in the son of a bitch? It's got a death curse of this fabled, mysterious, creepy little ghost girl named Melissa. And Melissa, if she sees you, she will seek you out and she'll force you to kill yourself. And, of course, there are all these villagers that are dying strange deaths around the community. And they call in this guy who, of course, is asked to solve the crimes. And now, of course, this is Dr. Paul Eswise, the character, and it's played by Giacomo Rossi Stewart, who is a really, really good actor. I think he does a really good job in this movie. And the entire ensemble, I think, does a really good job here. But he's brought in to solve why these things are going on and exhume the bodies, trying to look and examine the bodies. What's going on? How did they die? What's going on? And they're, of course, the villagers are trying to bury the bodies early. Like, oh, no, you don't have to examine anything. We know how she died. It was just a little accident. That's all. And he's like, no. Like, we're going to get back this in the coroner's room. Like, we got to take a look at this. We got to see what's going on. And of course he exhumes the bodies and takes a look. And, we learn about the whole story from there about Melissa. And I think that first and foremost, this is a very influential horror film of not just Italian cinema, but American and especially, I would say, Japanese cinema. Took a lot from a movie like this because on the surface, what you have is a story of a little girl that wrongfully was killed, right? Of course, Melissa, this little girl, was chasing after her little ball and was killed in a drunken stampede, trampled by horses, and she cried out for help, cried out for assistance. And of course, everyone was too drunk and too much in the partying mood to go and save this girl. Hence, her ghost comes back and haunts this village. And of course, if she sees you, all it takes is Melissa just has to lock eyes on you and you're cursed for death. You're going to die. And the way that Mario makes this thing feel oh so scary and oh so creepy to me is just why he is the all-time master of Gothic horror. And what do I mean by that? Some of the sequences and the usage of camera, right? The cinematography in this movie, which I think was Mario's strongest suit. He was a great cinematographer, great set designer, just great at so many different things. But the cinematography alone in this movie is worth the price of admission and watching it. If you like film, if you study film, if you're one of those people that like to notice shots, this is a movie that, I implore you to watch tonight. It's that well shot of a picture. And what do I mean by that? There's a great sequence where Melissa, we watch her on the swing. She's swinging back and forth and kicking her feet up. And we watch as the camera lies on the swing with her and we swing back and forth with her. I thought that was amazing, like how Mario pulled that off. There's several sequences of this trippy staircase that Mario will go up to the top and then pan back down low and zoom low. Really like trippy. It's like, what the hell is going on? There's a lot of time loops in this movie that just kind of happen out of nowhere. Like, for example, our lead character, he's in this house and he's trying to run. He hears a woman calling for help and he runs through a room and all of a sudden he's back in the same room and he just plows through. He keeps running until he runs into a doppelganger of himself. And he's like, what the hell is going on? This is absolutely crazy. It's so trippy in that way. And I really like the way that this movie is told, right? It's a mystery that is slowly but surely unveiled and revealed to us as a viewer, right? We know what's going on. We know this little girl is bad news, but why? How? What's going on? How did we get to this point? And the movie slowly divulges that to you. And I thought it was smart to not just beat us over the head with it and tell us right off the rip. It's something we kind of find out as we go along, as these things are playing out. And I thought that was one of the smartest things about Kill Baby Kill. And a movie, like I said, that has influenced so much. And like I said, specifically Japanese cinema. I don't know if there's a Sadako Yamamura without Melissa Garps. I don't know if there's or Graps. I'm sorry, Melissa Graps. I'm not sure if there's a Kayako Saeki if there's no Melissa Graps. I don't know if there's a One Missed Call. I don't know if there's a Candy Man, if you will. Here, all you have these villainous backstories of these tragic deaths, people that did not deserve to die, but then of course years and years later come back to seek their vengeance and revenge on those who see them or those who say their name in the mirror or those who watch the tape. There's all these rules that have played out through the genre and its history, and I think that a lot of it is owed to Mario Bava. A lot of it is owed to this particular movie and its characters and what it had to say. And not only that, but to me it's the entire location. This was a movie that was shot, like I said, for a very, very low budget. And there's crazy stories that I did not know before looking into this movie until show preps that I'm excited to share with you guys. This was a movie that was shot mostly on location in Calcutta. This is a Italian city that, of course, Mario's son Lamberto Bava, he said that this was a very desolate town, very construction heavy, very hippie town, right? It had become like some of the upstate New York places, right? Whether it be New Paltz, whether it be Woodstock, these have become hippie towns that are just not as jumping as they once were. And that's kind of what Calcutta was at this time in Italy. And that's why they decided to shoot there. Now, of course, these were a first-time producing team. This was a very low-budget film company that was producing these movies, and they didn't have the budget. I mean, they really didn't have the budget, to the point where after 2 weeks of filming, these actors had to be regrettably informed that they were not going to get compensated for their work on this picture after the 2-week period. They got their first check, and then they were told, listen, we're out of money. We don't have money to pay you anymore, and it's up to you whether you want to stay here or not, because we can't pay you the rest of your money that we owe you. You can film on, we can go on, or you can go home and do that. That's unfortunate to me when I heard that, but the actors apparently, due to their admiration and desire to work with Mario Bava, did stick it out an extra 12 days on the set of this picture and worked for free. Like, that's, to me, that is crazy. Like, listen, as much as I love Mario Bava, I love, filmmaking and things like that, but for 12 days, if you told me, you came straight up to me and said, listen, I don't have your money, I'm most likely going home there, right? Like, and put it into your own context, put it in your own shoes. Let's say you go to work and they say, listen, for the next 12 days, I can't pay you. I mean, you're most likely going to go home. I don't know how many people are that loyal or that, admiring of someone to say, you know what, I don't need the pay. We're going to finish what we started, baby. That's rare, but I think that's really nice to hear that all the actors kind of banded together and, went about doing that. I think that was something that was really admirable, and it says a lot about Mario. I mean, these people were willing to work for free the last couple of weeks of production in order to finish this thing. And that's, to me, like the ultimate testament of a good human being, not even just a good filmmaker, but that Mario was a good human being if everyone said, hey, we're in this together. We got your back. Like, we're sorry this is going through this and this is happening and stuff like that. And Mario expressed quite a bit of frustration with this film. I mean, he says that a lot of this was improvised, a lot of the story, things like that were improvised at points. A lot of the stuff with running out of money for the actors. And then, of course, Mario always disputed that this thing was shot in just 12 days, even though Lamberto has said it's more around 20 days. There's been a lot of arguments and things like that as to how many days did they actually shoot this thing. I don't know. I wasn't there. I do believe Lamberto. I believe it's most likely around the 21 to 28 day, like about 3 weeks to a month period with this movie. And you know what? Honestly, to me, the fact that some of these people worked half of that time without pay is sensational. And I think that the cast do a great job. Like, I want to get everybody's name here. Fabian Dali is Ruth. She's this local witch that says she can protect us from Melissa and her ghostness and her curse. There's one night that the owner of a deli store, his daughter sees Melissa in the window and she freaks out. Because she's going to get me. I'm going to die. And she's going to get me. And they're like, hold on. We'll call the witch doctor. We'll call Fabian Dali and we'll have her come in. And basically what she does is she whips her and has her go through all these crazy procedures and ethics. And of course, wraps her in a leech vine in order to try to protect her from Melissa Garp's grasp, if you will. And I thought that scene was just haunting. It was like, oh my God, like this is absolutely crazy, man. Like the whole vibe of this, it just really was disturbing. And of course, our doctor, he kind of comes in and he goes, what are you doing? She's suffering. She's going to die like this. You can't wrap her in a fucking leech vine and put her to bed. Like, what are you doing? What are you protecting her from? And of course, he takes it off her, and then Melissa shows up in the window. And Melissa kind of scratches at the window. And again, I think that was taken from so much. I think totally Tobe Hooper took inspiration when he made, Salem's Lot. I think that scene alone and the bouncing ball, right? The bouncing ball that we see throughout it, that's something that was copied and put into The Changeling with George C. Scott, totally taken from this and borrowed from this. And I loved how the murder sequences, it's funny, in a movie called Kill Baby Kill, it's not necessarily about the murder sequences or about the kills, but they are very much disturbing in and of their own right, because it's not Melissa physically grabbing you and throwing you around like a rag doll or stabbing you physically. She gets you to kill yourself, right? She gets the daughter to walk into this very sharp spike and just kind of impale her own self. That's one of the deaths in this. And as many others, a lot of the deaths kind of play out like that. And it isn't until, the third act where we learn that there is a Baroness in this movie that claims that Melissa was her daughter. And the fact that Melissa is not actually doing these acts of cursing and death on her own. It's in fact the mother who can conjure her, because she's this Baroness that has these powers. She's kind of conjuring her daughter to put bad karma and a curse on the town itself, because she can't get over her own grief of losing her daughter all those years ago. And we hear the bell clock in the town ring. And to me, the great thing about Bava and the great thing about Kill Baby Kill is not the fact that we see Melissa too much. We don't see this ghost girl all that much. However, we feel her. The presence is there from beginning to middle to end. We feel Melissa's presence. It's almost like you never feel truly safe in this environment, in this town. It's like Melissa can be anywhere. Melissa can be anywhere playing with her, silver rubber ball. She could be laughing around a pillar. She can be anywhere. And that's what makes it so unsettling and so damn creepy. And Mario, to me, is the master at that. I think there's a reason that he owned and championed movies like this. And to me, it's the feeling of dread that you will feel throughout this picture. A very short watch. I think it's just over 80 minutes. I highly recommend this to anyone that's never seen Kill Baby Kill. Just great movie. The look of it, the colors, the visuals. To me, it's such an interesting movie all the way around. I just love the performances, love the story, love the curse, if you will. I think Melissa is an undersung horror icon. The actress didn't go on to do much. I can get her name here. I actually don't know her name off the top of my head, but the actress that played Melissa was Valerio Valerie, plays Melissa Garps in this, or Garps. I always fuck up that last name. Garps, I'm sorry. I don't know why my brain wants to say Garps. But yeah, no, she does a great job as the creepy little kid in this. And to me, this is just an excellent Mario Bava movie. Like, to me, you want to watch great gothic horror, great Mario Bava joint, Kill Baby Kill. It's a fantastic film. But let's get to comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say on this one. Where the heck were we? I think we were here. AJ Zetro says, are you in the interrogation room? I've explained why I'm in the room. Unfortunately, Papa G is sick and he's hiding out downstairs. So we're in the white room with John Grande and his graveyard. Welcome, AJ Zetro. Hope also with you. He's on the casting couch. Oh boy, I hope not. I hope I'm not on the casting couch. I still got to see Kill Baby Kill. I've been meaning to for a while now. Man, it's fantastic. I believe it is streaming if you don't own the picture. I believe you can watch it on Amazon Prime. It may be on stuff like Tubi. I'm not 100% sure. Do you feel like more the Italian title, Operazione Pora, Operation Fear? I think it's so suiting incredible camera work and storytelling. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That may be the better title that fits it. Now, with what you didn't mention are some of the other alternate titles. Some of the alternate titles this Mateo are horrible. Curse of the Living Dead was one of the alternate titles. How generic can that? I mean, unless it's directed by George Romero, no one's watching a movie called Curse of the Living Dead. That's just so bad. There's also The Living Dead was one of there were several different really poor titles for this, and none of those really grab you. Now, Operation Fear is a better title than The Curse of the Living Dead, but I will give it this. Kill Baby Kill, that grabs you. Like, that immediately, let's watch that fucking movie. Even though I know it does sound like a giallo, it does sound like exploitation, right? It does fit more, like I said, the I Drink Your Bloods and the Crazies and the Rabids of the world. Movies like that, it sounds more like it would be like one of those where when you watch it, it's nothing like those movies. It's much more like a Black Sunday, much more like the Vorderlock segment of Black Sabbath. It's definitely much more gothic. But, I agree with you. The camera work here is truly some of the best you'll see in his entire career. And the storytelling, yeah, I agree. It's one of the best stories. Like, I love the story of it and how it, like I said, it slowly unfolds before your eyes and more people are getting picked off. And I don't know, it's just really good stuff to me. We got Dr. Howdy 666 4. Holy shit. We threw a 4 in the house. Whoa, the white wall, the chestnut hair really pops. Oh, okay. You know what? That was why we did it. Calcutta, how do you spell it? So Calcutta, it's not Calcutta, it's Calcutta. So it's Calcata, I believe. I might be missing a T. Let me Google it really quick, Mateo. I'm not sure. I think it's Calcata, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me see. Calcata. Yes, I was right. Okay, I did just confirm with you. Calcata is how you spell it. What's up, Graveyard? What's up with the white background? Was Grande arrested and placed in the interrogation room? Phantom Analogs 5387. Welcome, Jeff. Hope all's well with you. And of course, Will and Jeff are hosting a very fun family fun film weekend that's going on all weekend. It started today, and of course, it goes through Sunday. They're going to be hosting, I believe, not too long after, maybe at 10 o'clock, I want to say. So if you even want to make it a double feature night of Grande's Graveyard and Mario Bava, and then hop on their stream, they're going to be doing a live watch-along of Takashi Miike's Imprint, which is one of my favorite Masters of Horror episodes. And we all love Takashi Miike, just one of the all-time great filmmakers. Love Takashi's work. And they're going to be doing a live watch-along of that with their chat on Instagram. So if you're not subscribed to Il Pinguino or, of course, the Cabinet of Dr. Howdy, they're going to be on Instagram watching that. I believe maybe the Discord link, but they'll have it posted. I'm at the public library. Oh, my God. He's locked the workers in and is forcing them to listen. Yes, I have. Oh, buddy, Grande lives in that library. Oh, absolutely. Somebody said I missed comments. What comments did I miss? I didn't see. Oh, I missed it. Okay, Susie's in the house. Susie, welcome, Susie. Hope all is well with you, my friend. I missed a comment. I'm sorry. Where in the heck were we now? This movie makes me think of that underrated 2000s horror movie called Darkness Falls. Does it really? Of all the movies of all the movies that Kill Baby Kill could remind you of, not Candyman, not Ring, not Ju-On, The Curse, but fucking Darkness Falls, the Killer Tooth Fairy movie. That is a riot. Fred, what would you rate Darkness Falls in your top? Oh, shit. Merciful Fate and had an album named Melissa. Did it really? Wasn't Melissa an Allman Brothers song? Was it really? I did not know that Allman Brothers had a song named Melissa. Let me see. AJ says, indeed. Kill Baby Kill is my favorite Bava. Perfect flick. Movie is awesome. The whole segment with Dale Cooper and the Dark Lodge from Twin Peaks was ripped off. Exactly. That's right. That's a great call. And I know Merns would be happy to hear that because I'm not sure if Merns is familiar with this one. But yeah, no, that's totally where it was. It's like everything you watch Mario Bava wise, it's almost like you could point 10, 15, 20 years down the road, sometimes 30 years down the road and be like, holy shit, they totally took from his book. It's so crazy how a guy that was so influential was plagued with so much shit, right? I mean, you even look at Black Lace, right? Black Lace was a movie that was made, it looks like there was a like $20 million budget, and it was the furthest thing from the truth. He couldn't afford a dolly to shoot with for Blood and Black Lace. He put the camera in a child's wagon. And fucking, that's how he did the tracking shots. Stanley Kubrick had motherfuckers build contraptions for him to go throughout the halls of the Overlook and the Shining. This motherfucker put it in a wagon, and he still did it before anybody. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. When you think of Mario Bava, that motherfucker was the pioneer. And I know there's some people that have told me they find his film slow, boring, dull, old, whatever words you want to throw. That's fine, and you're entitled to your opinion. But to me, man, like if you love this thing we call film, to me, Mario Bava is like one of the absolute pinnacles of why you should love it or what you should be watching if you're not familiar with it. And it's a guy that even Tarantino has said he's borrowed so much from, a guy that literally is considered one of the greatest filmmakers of our time. And I agree with that. I think Quentin Tarantino is one of, if not the best living filmmaker today. And he's several times put Mario Bava over in this particular movie as well. Sing something, Grande. Oh no, I've become a show monkey in this white room. I'm going crazy. They're having fun with the nudie graveyard. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like I've totally taken away from everything I'm trying to say. Like this is just too naked. Thanks, buddy. Graveyard Phantom and Cabinet Connection, baby. The GPC, if you will, only on the graveyard. The GPC. Love all the creepy window shots in Kill Baby Kill 2. They're all watching him suspiciously from the window, and then of course the kid in the window icon. It's it never gets old. No matter how many times I watch this movie, it's scary every time. Like, I love how the whole thing is done. It's just perfectly methodically paced, but it's not overindulgently long, right? I mean, this is a movie that runs just about 80 minutes. It's a really, really short movie, too, which is amazing. Hey, Grande in chat, Subjective Perspective Collectives. Speaking of GPC, we got SPC in the house. Valerie was a very little boy who Bava thought was more terrifying than any girl they auditioned, so they put him in a... Are you kidding me? That's a guy? I never fucking knew that. I never knew that was a boy playing the role. There you go. Dirk just shone some light on this for me, because I never knew that was a boy. Mario Bava put the camera in a radio flyer. Mario Bava did it all, man. Kill Baby Kill, I feel like they retitled it to fit in with Russ Meyer flicks. Now, it's funny. This actually was the title most of the way. Like I said, Curse of the Living Dead was the only title that I had heard they used more than this. And, of course, thankfully, they didn't distribute it like that, because I don't think Curse of the Living Dead would have fucking sold. Especially, you're talking predating Night of the Living Dead. So it's not even like people could have went, oh, is this the sequel to Night of the Living Dead? No, it didn't. Night of the Living Dead didn't even fucking exist yet. So that's how long ago this movie is. It gives you a little bit of an idea. It'll be celebrating its 60th fucking anniversary next year, which is kind of crazy to think about. But as far as the title changes, Jeff, this next movie we'll discuss, Least in the Devil, and then, of course, it was re-released as The House of Exorcism. That's one where I'm sure you can see what movie they wanted to kind of capitalize on the fun of and money of, and we'll get there when we discuss that one. Bob is the true maestro. I agree. Jokes, maybe he's going through Sing a Song by the Carpenters. Okay, I appreciate you letting me know it's a joke. So Kill Baby Kill, man, I can't recommend this movie enough. Like, to me, it's just an absolute classic. I love this movie. If you haven't seen it, man, go see it. Like, I know Mark was saying he hasn't seen it. Please go watch this movie. Like, it'll be 80 minutes of, even if you fucking hate it, it's 80 minutes of your damn time. Let's say, if you want to become a director, you need to watch Bava movies. Dude, I completely agree with that. And, like, I would even say, with the short that I did, there's so much Bava in there, like so much, like the colors of the dresses and the whole story of the girl that, of course, went missing long ago. I mean, Kill Baby Kill. Yeah. I don't think I ever make that short without a movie like Kill Baby Kill. It's totally inspirational. Now, I didn't directly say, okay, this is what I want to do, a modern day Kill Baby Kill by the water, but I definitely think that you learn so much from Mario. Like he really is. It's like film school. You really can just sit down and be like, holy shit, how did he do some of these things? And like, I don't know, to me, the fact that he was so hands-on with his work, and even though he didn't have a lot of money, he always used creativity and he always kind of found a way. And that's why I love Mario Bava as a filmmaker as a whole, because the guy was just great. But of course, that was Kill Baby Kill. This was a movie that made a shit ton of money. This was a big, big, big hit in 1966. And some have called it the end of the great golden era of Italian horror, Gothic cinema. This was the movie that kind of crescendoed a very nice ending. Of course, Tim Lucas is a guy that said that, who says that era lasted from 1957 to about 1966. It was a good 9-10 year window where he felt that Italy just was on fire with making all these Gothic horror movies. And Mario Bava was at the peak of that, really. But, of course, it was years later, and Mario, after this movie, he of course, did other horror movies like Barren Blood and Hatchet for Honeymoon, and he also had stepped away, made Westerns and things like that. He had stepped away, and you can watch pretty much all that stuff in here, in this box set. Like, I can pull out some, like Barren Blood was a movie he made after this. Of course, a very infamous one that's getting a 4K release now from two different fucking companies, and I got schemed, A Bay of Blood, which is one of the all-time great horror movies that there ever was. Definitely in my top 3 Mario Bava movies. Like, this would easily be in the top 3 for sure. But then, of course, you had stuff like this, like the Western stuff, like Rory Colt and Winchester Jack and Four Times That Night, movies that he kind of moved away from the genre a little bit. This movie, which I have reviewed on an earlier episode this year with the Edwidge Finetch special, $5 for an August Moon, which I know he had always said was his least favorite movie. I fucking love this movie. I don't know why it's so hated by people, but I love it. And I understand the backstory of it, but to me, that's a fucking really good movie and readaptation of And Then There Were None. But these movies, unfortunately, were not the most financially successful. And Mario really wanted to make a hit again. He was like, all right, I got to try to make a hit again. And he, of course, produced came across this producer in 1973. That is when they met, and his name was Alfredo Leone. Alfredo Leone was the producer that he came across, and he said, Alfredo, I really want creative freedom. I want creative control. I want to make a movie where I have the says and no AIP going to be stepping in, or no, we're running out of money like Kill Baby Kill. Like, he's like, I want to do a production. I want to do a feature with no bullshit, with me calling the shots and only me. And Alfredo said, absolutely, we could do that for you. Let's do it. Let's make this little movie, of course, from 1973. And this is, of course, Lisa and the Devil. Lisa and the Devil from 1973. And yes, we have a brief plot synopsis. A tourist spends the night in a derelict Spanish villa, seemingly held in by the supernatural grip of an eccentric butler who resembles the depiction of the devil she had seen in an old fresco. Yes, Lisa and the Devil. Now, this is a very, to me, horse of a different color when it comes to Mario Bava cinema. I don't know what I would categorize this as. I really don't, because it has elements of so many different things. It does have elements of a gothic. It has elements of a psychological horror, has elements of a devil film. There's so much that meets the eye in this movie. But to me, first and foremost, the thing that always catches my eye, and you can actually catch him here on the cover of this Mario Bava box set, is the legendary, the late, great Telly Savalas, who I, of course, always remember being the Twilight Zone fan I am from the Talkie Tina episode of the Twilight Zone. I'm Eric Strater, and I'm going to get rid of you. And the whole coach act with the lollipops and things like that. Just love Telly Savalas, one of the all-time great Greek-American actors. Just had such a great charisma to him. Played an outstanding good guy in a lot of things. But, man, when he played it bad, when he played it antagonistic-like, I don't know if there was anybody that could really hit the peaks of a Telly Savalas. And in this movie, he's playing a physical incarnation of the devil, right? And well, we've seen Al Pacino try this. We've seen Robert De Niro try this. And to lesser mentioned, a guy like Robin Hughes, who I still think is the best portrayal of the devil that we will ever get, is Robin Hughes as the devil in The Howling Man. I think Robin Hughes should have won an Emmy for that fucking role. But Telly ain't no shab or layover either. And he is so good in this. As the movie opens, and this woman is, of course, played by, I want to get her name right, Elke Sommer, who had worked with Bava a few times before this in non-horror pictures. Elke Sommer stars as the lead of this, and she's on this kind of tour, and they're touring this beautiful, beautiful landscape in Italy. And of course, they fucking come across this fresco. It's like a painting, and it looks like the devil. It's this guy with, his hands like this, and his eyes are all kind of creepy. And she sees it, and they're explaining, oh, this is an incarnation. This is an element of the fresco. And, she's like kind of creeped out by this. And all of a sudden she hears music in the distance and kind of just wanders off from the group. And she finds this little store where the music's coming from. And she encounters none other than Telly Savalas, who, like I said, plays an incarnation of the devil. But it's never said, right? The only opening, we see the little picture of the fresco, and then we see him and we're like, all right, this is a physical human incarnation of the devil. What is he? Is he a big businessman? He's an evil boss man? No. He's a butler. And I thought that was one of the most interesting and intelligent things that Mario Bava did with this particular script, because if anyone is familiar with the original story of Satan, the whole story goes that he did not want to be subservient to God. He did not want to be subservient. So what does Mario Bava do? He hits it right on the fucking nose. I'll have you be a butler. Serve me. You don't want to be subservient? You're serving motherfuckers. That's like, who the fuck is that smart to think of something like that? Like, that is like, I wish I was that fucking smart to hit it on the nose like that. And that's only Mario would do something like that. But we meet Telly's character. Telly is so fucking charismatic. He's holding around a dummy, and it's all cracked and things like that. And he's like, excuse me, miss, are you looking to buy this? And he's so charming. I love how like devilishly, no pun intended, charming he is in this role. Then we watch him kind of discuss this with her. She's scared shitless because she knows something's wrong. And then, of course, he walks past her until they encounter again in a dark alley. And he kind of talks to her again. He's like, what's going on? Like, are you lost? Do you need help? He's not really acting so malicious or evil. He's just kind of acting suspicious. And she's like, no, there's no problem. There's no problem. She kind of bumps into the dummy. She walks off. And all of a sudden, the dummy that he's carrying around manifests itself into a human incarnation. And he's hinting at a past past life with Lisa, our lead character at Elkie. He's saying, oh, we used to be in love. You used to love me. Your name is Elena. It's not Lisa. He's trying to convince her of all these things. And she's like, get the fuck away from me, you fucking weirdo. Pushes him down the steps and like runs off into the heavens. She eventually gets lost, hitchhikes her way to this little, hotel. And who else is there to greet them at the door but Telly Savalas? And I will say this, if this movie has a weak point, there would be two ones that I would say that there are. Weak point number one, I don't get as into the side characters as I do in most other Bava movies. Mario Bava was a master not only at filmmaking, but I always think he made the other characters on the side interesting, right? Blood and Black Lace, the camera, the way it follows throughout the dressing rooms, and the little conversations that we hear going on, the little flings going on. Mario makes all that interesting. $5 for an August Moon. I know a lot of people bash the movie, but I'm be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I'm not interested in every motherfucker on that island and trying to cross them off the red herring list of saying, okay, this person couldn't possibly be the killer. This person totally could be the killer. There's money, there's motive. Giallos always seem to have the theme of greed, right, and corruption and things like this, and love and all of these things. And that's kind of what he does. He bobs and weaves through these characters, and then they start to get picked off one by one until you decide, oh my God, I thought it was going to be this guy. He's the first to go. What the fuck? He does that stuff great. Here, I don't think it's that great. Like, I really think the side characters are really some of the weakest that you'll see in a Bava film. Like, I really do not give a fuck about the side characters in this movie. There's some affairs going on. This one lady that got dropped off is fucking the guy that dropped them off, and she's cheating on her husband. And then there's another thing going on where somebody's cheating on this person. It's so all over the place, and I don't really care. I don't care who's cheating on who. I'm not here for that personally. I understand that eventually it does get to a payoff of where it pays off, but I don't give a fuck. Like, that shit just doesn't work in this movie for me. That's my biggest gripe with Lisa and the Devil. It's still a really good movie, and I still really like it. That's gripe number one. Gripe number two is that the movie, while I think it's amazingly ambitious, I think it's also very ambiguous at the same time, and much to its detriment if you're watching it for a one and only time. This is a movie to me that you have to watch several times in order to get everything that it's giving, because it's next to impossible on the first view. I mean, it's really all over the place with some of its storytelling, and so much so that it makes it hard for a film reviewer to review. I don't think this is an easy picture to review whatsoever, but I'm giving it the old, college try, if you will. That's something else that I just felt that maybe too ambiguous. Like, maybe you should have a little bit more upfront with some of it. But again, this was full creative control. This was Mario doing what Mario wanted to do, and I respect that. And I think that he's a guy that made enough great movies to earn and do what he wanted to do. So on that front, I respect it, and I completely, can get over that particular gripe. I'm just saying personally, it does get rather confusing if you've not seen that. So with this movie, though, as it plays out, we watch this woman, Lisa, and she is kind of being hit on by the son of this lady who owns the little villa, if you will. And of course, she's played by none other than, and this is an awesome little tie-in here, Alida Valli, who we were just talking about last week. Alida Valli was in Killer Nun. Alida Valli was famously in Suspiria, which was, of course, a few years down the road from this. She's one of the head people that are being she's a witch. She's in Eyes Without a Face. Tons of movies Alida Valli is in. And of course, she plays this blind villa owner, and she's very hard on her son. And it very much feels like Psycho. It's like they're kind of homaging Psycho a little bit, where her son is kind of lusting for Lisa and lusting for these women and hinting at ideologies of a past life. Like, listen, we used to have sex. We used to be in love. Like, you need to remember me. And Lisa doesn't want any part of this. And she's like, hell no, I'm not interested. All that stuff is very good. I like the work from them from an acting standpoint. All of them do a really good job. And of course, the movie, Mario just makes it feel like a fever dream. That's, I think, the strength of Lisa and the Devil. The whole thing feels like it is a dream. We have great sequences of Lisa gets knocked out, and when she wakes up, she's in this wonderful, like, green valley and just walking around. And like, I think that's her and her subconscious playing out this past life that's being described to her. Is it not? I don't know. It's very ambiguous. That's how I interpret it, but I hope that you guys can interpret it something completely other than that, because that's the fun of movies, right? You want to think about it for yourself and interpret it for yourself. I love that stuff though. Like visually it's stunning. And of course people are getting killed one by one, and there's also great usage of dummies in this movie and mannequins. There are points where they're real, there are points where they're not, and Mario kind of plays with you throughout the movie. It's very fun how he does it, very meticulous how he does it all, but it's very entertaining. And Telly Savalas is at the root of this. It seems like Telly is having the most grand old time. And a fun thing about Telly that people don't maybe realize, Telly throughout this movie was supposed to have like gumdrops. That was supposed to be the character's gimmick. Every scene you saw him, he was supposed to pop a gumdrop. Telly didn't like gumdrops, and he asked Mario Bava, can I do lollipops? I would much rather do lollipops. I'm trying to quit smoking. Lollipops is my one thing that kind of helps with the vice of smoking. I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to take gumdrops. Can I suffice with a lollipop? And Mario said, yeah, sure. I don't care. Why not? That ends up becoming a trademark of Telly Savalas' entire career, because if you've seen Kojak, we all remember the red lollipop that he has, and that's something that crossed over. That was all because of Telly. He wanted to quit smoking in real life. He didn't want to smoke anymore. So that was originated here, and then, of course, borrowed over from the Kojak show in the States, of course, just a few years down the road. So that was kind of crazy that the lollipop thing that is synonymous with Telly Savalas' character of Kojak, it was started here when he was playing Satan himself. Really cool stuff there. The finale is incredible. I will say, I think the finale, while again, it's very ambiguous, is just some of the best stuff you'll see. Basically what happens is more and more people in this house that have arrived that are cheating on each other and whatnot, being run over and all this stuff, they're being killed off one by one until it ultimately gets to the finale where, the man that's in love with Lisa, he chloroforms her and sexually takes advantage of her. And you learn that he's been holding the bones of his original lover, Elena, in the room, and he starts to sexually assault this woman. And of course, you hear the skeleton laughing at him, like, ha, 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 like basically like cucking the guy. And he's just like, what? He's like, I can't concentrate, stop. That is one of the most disturbing scenes ever, as this skeleton is laughing at this guy trying to get his groove on, if you will, for lack of a better term. He's trying to get it on and he can't do it. He's like, motherfucker, this is too distracting. He kind of wanders off and finds all these dead bodies sitting around a dinner table, and they're talking to him and taunting him, and he's terrified. And his mother shows up as a mannequin kind of walking towards him, and he just kind of loses his mind, falls out the window and gets impaled on a spike. And we can see the whole time Telly Savalas was kind of holding the strings like a marionette, if you will. He's watching and kind of watches him fall out the window. He's like, oh, well, look what happened to you. Telly's charm, man, is great. He's just like, oh, shit happens. You fell out a fucking window, got impaled on a fucking metal spike, buddy. Sucks to suck. Thought that was awesome. But what to me makes this a total, like, holy shit, what the fuck actually happened here, is the very ending where Lisa runs out of the house and she runs into these kids playing in the street. She runs out of the gate. She's horrified. She's breathing heavy. Her heart's pounding out of her chest. And she runs into these little kids that are playing on the fucking street. And the kids look at her and they go, oh, well, don't go near that lady. That she just ran out of that old villa house. That house hasn't had anybody in it in over 100 years. And she kind of looks, and the kids kind of laugh and run away. And she turns around and looks and is like, what did I just experience? Was any of this real? Was this all a fever dream? Am I really real? Am I dead? Am I alive? Am I Elena? Am I Lisa? What's going on? And it's all very much left up to the viewer as we watch. She gets on this plane for home, breathes that sigh of relief, and there's nobody else on this plane. And it's very odd. It's like, wait a minute, I've never seen a plane so empty. If only planes could be so empty in real life, right? Instead of you're on top of some smelly ass fucking cat piss smelling motherfuckers. She's running around this plane. It's like, where the hell is everybody? Runs into all of the people that were in the villa, and they're all dead. And they're all looking at her, and she freaks out, kind of sprints to the front of the plane. Pilot, she opens the door, and who else is flying the plane but Telly Savalas? He is the lollipop, and he's just like, kind of looks at her. and she falls faint like a mannequin. Like you are dead this whole time. You are, just another one of my puppets in this game. And even though, we put you through hell and back, you are now the very thing that you sought out at the beginning, right? When you heard the music, when you saw me holding the dead in my arms in a manifestation of a dummy, you've now become that. Like, there are a few people that could make that work like Mario Bava does. And man, like, to me, it's just one of the best endings of a Mario. You're just like, what the fuck happened, man? Like, it is so, no matter how many times I've seen this, every time I kind of leave scratching my head, but it's so fun to kind of go home and think about it. It's the perfect, if you see this with a buddy and you're driving home, you got the long half-hour, 40-minute drive home, you're talking about this all the fucking way. What just happened? Was this real? Was this reality? Fiction or nonfiction? Is she dead? Is she alive? Is she Elena? Is she Lisa? What really happened, right? Was Telly Savalas just the ultimate ringleader in this circus known as Lisa and the Devil in the Villa? Really good stuff to me, man. I love Lisa and the Devil, and I think it's a really good movie. Like I said, not one of my favorites, Babas. I think it very much starts great, ends great. The middle, I do have issues with some characters. I do have issues with some of the ambiguity. So it's not in my top 3 Bava movies. I wouldn't say that. But I would say that this is a really, really good movie. And, of course, getting into some of the background of this, well, I can get into comments first. Let me quickly get into the background of this, and I'll get back to your comments. I'm sorry. Sometimes when you're rolling, you just got to keep rolling. So you may be wondering, well, Grande, why is it also released under this name, The House of the Exorcism? I'm sure you're wondering why. Now, what happened was Alfredo Leone was kind of pissed because this movie did not sell a lot of tickets. Lisa and the Devil was not a financial hit, didn't work, didn't sell. In fact, the movie kind of bombed, and he was very upset by this. However, it came out in 1973, and another very infamous horror movie came out in 1973 known as The Exorcist. And The Exorcist made an ungodly amount of money, not just in the United States, but overseas. And it was a huge, huge hit. And like I always say, not just Hollywood, but the film business being very monkey see, monkey do, Alfredo Leone, he said, why don't we put exorcism in the title and see if we could steal some tickets and sell this movie as something else? So what they did was they re-edited the movie and almost tried to make it resemble an exploitation picture of said time, right? Because the genre had changed, right? 1968 moving into like 72, that was a 4 or 5 year period where the genre itself was changing. We were getting more hard. It was enough of peace and love. It was enough of this and that. It was much more counterculture. It was much more, we need to show. We can't just imply. We need to show, and we need to affect, and we need to, I guess, offend people was the word I was looking for there. And that's what they really wanted to do with this particular title change. They said, hey, we put House of Exorcism in the title. That will sell more tickets. And that's what Alfredo did. Mario begrudgingly signed off on this because he felt that this was his baby and a movie that he was the only movie he ever did that he wasn't really meddled in with. But he signed off on it. And he did send Lamberto Bava to go and approve some of the editorial changes. If you watch the House of Exorcism cut, it is terrible, in my opinion. It just completely misses the point of why Mario Bava cinema works and why the story that Mario was telling is effective. With the House of Exorcism cut, it's just very much more a very generic, bland, exploitative picture. And listen, I know there's always going to be an audience for things like that. And I'm sure there are the random offshoot people that will say, hey, House of Exorcism is better. That's fine. But for me, Lisa and the Devil is definitely the far superior film and the movie that you need to go out of your way to watch instead of House of Exorcism. Because, I mean, Italy was huge at this time in doing this. They wanted so many different exploitation, right? There was, of course, a movie. I forget the fucking original title of it. Oh, man, I forget the name of the original cut of the movie. But basically the original cut of this movie was called The Eerie Midnight Horror Show. I believe that was the name of the original cut of this, another Italian movie. They changed the name to The Sexorcist. in order to try to sell tickets. That's how many people in Italian or in Italy, if you will, were trying to bank on that success. Like, holy shit, Exorcist made how much fucking money? Call this movie The Sexorcist. We'll promise them yits and we'll promise them exorcisms. Let's get their fucking money. Okay, at least in The Devil didn't sell. Let's call it The House of Exorcism and put Telly on the marquee. Maybe that will sell tickets. And then, like, again, it's a business at the end of the day. And I understand where Alfredo was coming from. I don't have any disrespect for the man because he did get Mario's approval. It's not like he said, fuck you, I'm not getting any. Like, he got his blessing. Mario begrudgingly signed off on it, and I'm sure Mario got some compensation for that. I'm sure he did. But, you know, that's the unfortunate thing of it. And another thing, before I get to comments again, I'm sorry, I keep thinking of things to talk about with this movie. Telly Savalas had a very interesting interview that I watched in preparation of the show for this. Now, if you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you'll know that Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, he goes to Italy. And this is a thing that several different actors did at that time from America. They were getting more work in Italy, right? Why would I stay here, get bit roles, make bit money, to be somebody that's, for lack of a better term, a smaller part in a bigger picture, right? Small fish, big sea. Why don't I be the big fish in the pond over in Italy and I could still be on the marquee? And if you watch that movie, there's one of the promo posters of Leonardo DiCaprio where it's him and Telly Savalas as like cowboys, because Telly Savalas was a prime example of a guy that jumped ship to Italy. I'm going to make money here. Very interesting counter argument is an interview from Telly Savalas himself. Telly Savalas himself said there's two differences between American pictures and Italian pictures. In American pictures, you get paid. That was as blunt as he was with it. He didn't go into detail. He didn't go into any specific filmmakers. I don't know if this was a film where he got bent over on pay, but that is glaring to me. That's like, I would love to know more about what he's saying there. And like, I watched some of the other interview and he was saying that Hollywood has bottomed itself out and Hollywood is completely in shambles. And this is in 1970s. He's saying this. It's like, man, if Telly Savalas was alive today, what the fuck would he think of the movie business now? I mean, I was watching it and I'm like, man, Telly is fucking, if he thinks it was bad in 1970, like, who the fuck? I mean, he would have probably had a fucking nervous breakdown in 2025, but that's just the way I looked at it. I don't know. I think this is a good movie, though, at least in The Devil overall. Sorry to get off on tangents here, but let's get to your comments. You guys have been waiting long enough. Let's see where we were. Wow, a lot of comments. Okay, where the fuck were we? I think we were here. Margarete. Why people think of Telly Savalas, they usually think of him with the abusive stepfather in Twilight Zone, but he's also the one who kills James Bond's wife in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Absolutely. Dirk saying, Telly. Yeah, Telly's great. I love Telly. This movie is very much a ripoff of The Exorcist. See, no way at all. I'm assuming you've only seen the House of Exorcism cut, which would be totally misinforming you that this is not in any way, shape, or form an Exorcist knockoff until it was re-edited and changed in order to try to sell tickets. That's what happens sometimes. And like, to me, it's crazy because it seemed to happen to Bava a lot more than anybody else. Like in the Black Sabbath, which is I'm wearing the fucking Black Sabbath shirt. I love this fucking movie. The Americans thought that this cut wasn't good enough. Oh, fuck this. Re-edit it. Cut all that fucking lesbian stuff out of the telephone. Like, reorder them. What? Like, Black Sabbath, one of the best horror anthologies ever, and you fucking changed everything about it for the American release. Like, it's proof they don't fucking know. But of course it got fucked with because it's AIP. And AIP, yeah, there's a reason they went out of fucking business. Bava claimed it is his favorite work, and that's true because it was his most personal picture. This was, like I said, it's a movie that he really, really wanted to make and have it be his own. And I think that that's really the coolest thing about it. Like, there's no more movie that he ever made that was more of his own creative control, right? There was not anybody dabbling in his creation until you watch House of Exorcism, which I hope you don't. Telly Savalas later became known for playing the detective in TV series Kojak, of course. House of Exorcism was a ripoff of The Exorcist, but not Lisa. Exactly, yes. As opposite of 007 was very credible. Yeah, I guess you're not a George Lazenby fan. I'm not either. There's some people that are like hipsters. They're like, George Lazenby, who's the best James Bond that there's ever been. No, he's not. I'm sorry. You could think so, but I just think you're fucking being different just to be fucking different. Peter Falk also played another famous TV detective named Columbo. Well, yeah, I love Peter Falk and I love Columbo. That's a random fun fact. It's definitely his most ambiguous film by a mile. Oh, easily. And like that, don't get me wrong, Dirk. Like, I really like the movie, but at times I'm like, man, I wish he maybe had some kind of restraint. But then again, a guy that had it his whole career, I'm glad he got to at least do this one without it. Raymond Burr also played the main detective in the series Ironstein. What the fuck? What is with all these random fucking Baron Blood is the reason he got creative freedom. It was so successful that Leone gave trust in him. That's right. Baron Blood was a big hit. It was, and hence we got Lisa and the Devil, a fun one. Okay, cool. I like Baron Blood a lot as well, and that's definitely Mario being Mario, right? And we'll discuss in just a couple of minutes, a movie that I feel like is very un-Mario. It's still a very good movie, but it's very unlike the movies he was making. And we'll get into maybe why that happened at this time. Not to get off topic, but you should do an episode or even a series of episodes dedicated to slashers and proto-slashers that predate Halloween. That'd be a good idea. I mean, ones that predate Halloween. I mean, I've done Black Christmas. That's one that I always say is a very big proto slasher to Halloween. Alice, Sweet Alice is another one. I can't fucking think if I've done an episode. Have I done Alice, Sweet Alice? I don't know. I actually don't remember if I have. I had to have. I don't know. I'll have to go through the Grande Graveyard archive. I think I have. He made a ton of money off Baron Blood and was given complete creative control. Yes, exactly. No worries. The Countess character was so creepy for me. Yeah, and I thought it was so funny. It's this the lady from fucking Suspiria right at the beginning, and so-and-so will take your bags. I love that lady, man. Bava is my favorite Italian director, second all time behind Kubrick. Yeah, honestly, I like when it comes to Italian horror, I say he is like what Hitchcock was to American horror is what Mario was to Italian horror. But I think, number one, I think Mario Bava is a lot better fucking filmmaker than Alfred Hitchcock. And I don't even care how much heat that gets me. I don't give a shit. I think Bava was better. I do. And I think that, yeah, you wouldn't have Dario Argento without him. Lucio definitely took some things. I mean, Sergio Martino, definitely. Like these guys are all guys that took inspiration and almost became proteges, right? Argento was a protege. Lamberto was a protege of his own father, even though he didn't make movies like his own father. And then they inspired guys after them, right? Michele Soavi was a very big student and learner of Dario's work. So I don't know. To me, a lot of that stuff, it's just a golden age. And Mario, to me, is at least in Italy, was a pioneer of it. And not just in Italy, though, but like I tell you, all the influence he had all around the world, especially in J-horror. Like that motherfucker, he was everywhere in J-horror, man. Like it's kind of crazy. The visuals are timeless. Yeah, I agree. Like I love some of the stuff in this with her running throughout the villa and all this creepy shit that she sees, and the cinematography through the mirrors, right? There's like a makeup mirror, and there's a whole scene where the two people are talking, and we just see the makeup mirror. Just really good, man. It's just really great. That's interesting. I thought of the lollipop thing was a clue. So I thought that too until I saw this, and I went, holy shit, this had to be before Kojak. And then sure enough, it was. And then I read the whole story where he was trying to quit smoking. And that's why it wasn't even just we want to have this synonymous with the devil or synonymous with a detective in Kojak. No, we wanted to have this, just because the guy was trying to quit smoking. He was trying to quit a bad habit. Really crazy how certain things can become iconic. I've seen both versions, Lisa and the Devil and House of Exorcism. Honestly, I wasn't impressed with either one. Interesting. Okay. I like Lisa a lot. But I could see this is definitely one of his movies that is less liked. Like, it has a 6.2 on IMDb. It's not heralded like some of his other movies. And I can see why, but I still think it's a really good movie. I think Lisa's soul keeps escaping the devil in an eternal loop, or is she just the devil's plaything like everyone else? See, I think the latter. I think that's exactly what the ending is telling you, because she's a mannequin like everyone else now. Like, she's turned into the very thing she was fearing of becoming the whole movie, which to me that's the beautiful thing about it. Sorry, I don't have a coughing fit like last week. That was horrible. And I've unfocused myself. God damn it! Now I'm in the blurry white room here. I have to unblur myself. I'm gonna try. No, we'll try. We'll get it right here, folks. No. This is what John Grande does in his fun time. He puts himself in focus. This is like not refocusing for me. What the hell? No. Okay, well, I'm gonna go through almost got it. I'll go through comments and then we'll try to unfucking blur this. The Antichrist, aka the Tempter, is the best Exorcist ripoff in my opinion. Yeah, there's tons of them. I've never done a show on just Exorcist knockoffs. That would be a really fun Grande's Graveyard to do. We've done Alien knockoffs, which was a lot of fun, but we've never done Exorcist knockoffs. As we fixed it, hey, I'm back in focus. Are you trying to tell me that Italians care about sex? I will not accept that. I know it's just unacceptable. I'm fairly sure a lot of countries are guilty of this, but my understanding is Italy is notorious for ripping off American films. But it goes both ways. I will quote the legendary Matteo Appendino. We all borrow from each other. That is the truth, and that is how it is. And like I will say, if there's anyone that's ripped off Mario Bava more, I'm telling you, it's the Japanese. Like easily. It's just insane how much shit they've taken from it. Boobs and exorcisms line ups for blocks in front of Italian movie theaters. It's a night out. I got a nice date. I got some popcorn. Fun fact about Kill Baby Kill, going back to this, this showed in the States as a double feature mostly. The movie it showed with, I could not fucking believe, was The Sound of Horror, which is with Ingrid Pitt and none other than the legendary Soledad Miranda, which I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, could you imagine going to the movies and, okay, double feature, we got to pay for both movies. Kill Baby Kill is the first movie, and then you get The Sound of Horror with Ingrid Pitt and fucking Soledad. I mean, the time, like, people were just spoiled. They didn't even know how spoiled they were, but they were fucking spoiled. Definitely, but in most cases, for me, they go harder. I agree, Subjective Perspective Collective. I love that movie. The goat rim job scene cracks me up. Oh, boy. All right. Italian films definitely go harder a lot of the times. I like Italian horror better than American horror. Okay, yeah, no, and yeah, I'd be right there with you sometimes. I mean, there are certain cases, there are certain Italian horror films that I think are better than anything we've ever put out. And then vice versa. I think there's some American horror movies that are better than Italy's ever put out. And you can go all over the world with that. John would talk about House Sweet House together in a Jalo Rank episode. That's right. I don't know. I feel like have I ever really reviewed it on its own? Like, I can't think for some reason. I'm sure I have, but it's just not. There's 300 of these, so I tend to forget things. Hello, I can't focus. I can't see. It was like all blurry and horrible. I don't know. But with that being said, let's jump into the last movie of the evening. A movie that is got to be in consideration for one of his best. I totally think you can make an argument, and I've heard people say that this is the best Mario Bava movie, and I'm here to tell you I can't argue that. It's not my favorite. I would say I like Blood and Black Lace and Bay of Blood more. I would say I may even take something like Black Sabbath more, but that may be it. This might be number 4. I don't know. I've never really sat down and ranked Bava, but something I maybe should do someday. Maybe at the end of this, maybe we have time. If you guys want me to do, I could pull up a tier list of Bava, and we could fucking do that. I mean, we're only an hour in. We only have one more movie. So that's entirely up to you guys, though. This movie came out, of course, not really until the year of 1997, but it was mostly shot, filmed, and edited and the whole 9 yards in 1974. I'm talking about this little movie. Some call it Kidnapped, but others call it Rabid Dogs. And I have, of course, both releases here. Kidnapped from Kino Lorber and then Kidnapped from Shout Factory. And we have, of course, a brief plot synopsis. Following a bungled robbery, 3 violent criminals take a young woman, a middle-aged man, and a child hostage and force them to drive them outside Rome to help them make a clean escape. Yes, Rabid Dogs. You can't get into this movie to me without first telling the story of where Mario was at his time of life, right? Mario had been coming off movies that were not making a lot of money. Lisa and the Devil did not make a lot of money. Funny enough, $5 for an August Moon was a bigger hit than Lisa and the Devil, than, oh my God, there was one after that too that I can't think of that was a flop as well. He was totally stifled with making money, and that was the whole point of Lisa and the Devil. He wanted to make another hit, and it didn't work. Didn't sell his House of Exorcism, didn't sell his Lisa and the Devil. he saw that the genre was changing. And this is something I talked about with Jeff. I don't know if Jeff's still here, but Jeff and I talked about when we were together talking about genre Lynn. And Jeff and I were talking about this. And I had never really thought about it till Jeff and I discussed this on the genre Lynn episode, where Jeff made a great point and said that I don't believe that Mario liked where the genre was going. And I never thought of it that way until he worded it to me like that. And I think he's totally right. I think Mario was old school. Mario was, I want to do gothic horror, or maybe occasional giallo. I want to do Western. I want to do a space vampires movie, Planet of the Vampires, all these movies that he had done preceding this. But there was no denying that the genre was transitioning. Like I was saying before, we got rid of peace and love. We got to a movie like Night of the Living Dead, and movies like The Last House on the Left, movies like The Hills Have Eyes, and Black Christmas and Halloween, and all these movies that were kind of coming around the pike or had already kind of come around the pike, and movies that really were more exploitative and, like I said, show. I think Mario felt very pressured to make a picture like that. And in turn, we get Rabid Dogs, which is a fucking great movie. And it, to me, is Mario saying, anything you can do, I can do better, bitch. That's, to me, what Rabid Dogs is. Like, if you want a quote on a DVD, like if I could get my quote on the DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, anything you could do, I could do better, is Mario Bava's mentality with this. And I think Rabid Dogs is just a great exploitation road film that, of course, like I said in the plot synopsis, discusses these three men that rob this place. And of course, one of them is played by George Eastman, which I always, of course, kind of laugh. I'm like, oh, George Eastman from Anthropophagus and Absurd and Joe D'Amato fame. George fucking Eastman. The guy was a behemoth, big dude. And I'm pretty sure George Eastman taught film. No, I'm not sorry. He didn't teach film class. It was acting class. He actually had acting courses, I think, randomly in Maryland for the longest time. George Eastman became like an acting coach, which is kind of cool. Of course, you have Leah Lander as Maria, the female lead in the movie. Ricardo Cucciola, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he plays Ricardo in the film. And there's some other familiar faces you'll see. Marisa Fabry was in, I believe, Four Flies on Grey Velvet and Argento Joint. It watches and follows these three guys that have just robbed a bank, and one of them's name is Blade. He, of course, has a blade. One of them's named Treinta Dos, which is, of course, 32, and he's referring to his dick size, 32 centimeters. And then, of course, our lead villain in the movie. And, of course, they take this woman hostage after killing her friend. They stab her in the throat, and they're on the run. They're driving, and they switch cars and kind of run into this guy who has a sick, dying son, as he claims, in the car with him, who needs to get surgery, is under a sedative, and they say, shut the fuck up and you need to drive. And the whole movie kind of plays out as this very tension-filled, exploitative road thriller that, to me, again, while we could feel the presence, right, of Melissa Garp in Grapp. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking get that. Marissa Grapp in this movie. We could feel her throughout the beginning, middle, and end. Like I say, this is a movie where you can feel the tension. You can feel the heat in the car. You can feel the claustrophobia in this little fucking car that you feel like, there's no air conditioning there. It's a fucking hot fucking day, and these people are bleeding and sweating and paranoid and all of these things at once in this car. And a lot of the movie is just dialogue. Like, a lot of it is just back and forth dialogue about things. And I think it's tremendously written. Now, of course, Mario Bava, black cloud over his head, had to fire the cinematographer 3 days into the shoot because he couldn't afford to pay him. He said, I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to fucking take over, the cinematography duties because I don't have your money. So fired the guy and did all the cinematography for free, never got paid for the cinematography and his work on that. The lead actor, of course, like I said, who's going to play Ricardo, the guy they initially casted showed up drunk on the first day of filming, and Mario fired him on the spot. He's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. It's the first day of the job, first day of the shoot. You show up drunk. Get the fuck out of here. So they got him out of Dodge. And of course, replaced him, and then went on. So again, it was like never a dull moment with this guy. It was always a fucking problem. And when we get to the end of this review, you'll hear how much more problems this poor movie went through. But like I say, just so good with the dialogue throughout the picture and how vulgar it is, how vile these characters are. Feeling this woman up and telling her to take her clothes off and things like this. And there's a really great tension-filled scene where she makes a run for it, right? She gets out of the car, she says, "I have to pee," and makes a run for it. And they kind of chase her down, corner her, and they say, "Piss yourself right now. I want to see you do it." And they force her to take off her underwear, and she's crying horribly, and she starts pissing on the ground. And George Eastman and Blade, they're cracking up laughing. To me, now Mario's taken from a Wes Craven, right? Piss your pants! Sadie and Jeremy Renner's character in Last House on the Left, totally taken from that. So again, Missy, everyone borrows from each other. None of us are perfect. But it's good, and it's all in the love of film if we're taking inspiration and not being over the top blatant with what we pay homage to, in my opinion. There's a fine line with it, right? Like that to me is a totally like cool, like gloves are on. That's a fair punch. You have that sequence in the movie. You have a great scene where they pull over to the toll booth, and they don't have the card, right, to give the guy. And he says, "Oh, it's going to be 16,000 lira or something." And they're like, "Okay, no problem. And just everyone in the car, it's like this guy, they could just tell this guy and get out of this. But if they tell him the wrong thing, oh my God, everyone's going to get fucking stabbed or shot or both. Just everybody play it cool. And it's just like the tension all the way throughout that scene. They drive away, and then the cops arrive, and they're telling the guy of it. Crazy. Like, I love how that whole sequence was done. If it lasted another minute, the movie ends right there. But it does, of course, the movie must go on. The show must go on. Love that stuff. There's a really tense sequence where they stop for food. They stop at a rest stop, and George Eastman and the lead, they go in together. And he's like, try to make sure he doesn't do any funny business and things like that. And this woman who knows him kind of grabs him. He's like, "Oh, hey, Ricardo, how are you?" Making small talk. And George Eastman gets excited. He's like, "Oh my God, look at this lady's yits. They're firm." Like, he's going on and on about her yits. And it was so funny in the car. I burst out laughing in the show prep. I forgot this line. Blade says to him, he says something along the lines of like, "That motherfucker, anytime he sees a nice pair of yits, he loses his fucking head." I don't know. I just burst out laughing at that. There is some funny, like, it's so dark that you kind of laugh. Like, there's a great scene where he says something really fucking dumb. He's like, "Oh, I have mayonnaise on her yits," right? He's rubbing mayonnaise on her yits, and he's like, "You know what that would remind you of?" And he's like, "What a stupid fucking question!" Like, I thought that was really funny too. Like, it has a dark vibe, and dare I say, despite this being Mario behind the camera with the cinematography, behind this, the writing and the creative and the the whole nine yards, it's the most unfeeling Mario Bava movie. Like I would honestly, if you didn't tell me it was Mario Bava directed, I wouldn't guess it. It's not like Bear and Blood. It's not like Kill Baby Kill. It's not like Blood and Black Lace, Black Sunday, Black Sabbath, all these other movies that you can tell it's distinctly his style. This, to me, I would never know if you didn't tell me. Like, maybe some people could, but like, I don't see that type of picture in this because it seemed like he was transitioning with the times, whether he liked it or not. And like, to me, this is a great job at making that transition, because this is a fucking great movie from top to bottom. I just love everything about it. It does get violent. It does get crazy. There's a point where they pick up this one woman and she's just blabbering her mouth. She can't shut the fuck up. And she eventually talks so much that she gets stabbed in the throat. There are twists and turns along the way. I'm sure if you've seen this movie, you know that the ultimate twist at the end is kind of crazy. I will say I'm not usually good at guessing twists, but I had a feeling when I first watched it, because there's a great line where they take over this guy's car. And he's like, "Oh, my son's really sick. Can we stop at the hospital? Can I just let him? You can take the car. I want to take my son and get him well. He needs surgery today." And one of the robbers says, "This guy's acting too cool for having a sick son." And I kind of agree. I'm like, even from the first time I watched it, I'm like, yeah, this guy is fucking suspicious. And yeah, sure enough, there's a reason to see why. I guess I won't spoil it because I'm sure this is an underseen one. But it is a good twist. I think it's a very good twist. And even though I saw it kind of coming, it doesn't lessen the impact of it. Now, what has to be discussed with this movie, the unfortunate history in it, is that in post-production, this movie was seized by the courts. The producer didn't have enough money. There were a lot of production in post-production problems. The movie was almost completed, almost ready to come out, the whole 9 yards, and it was seized by the courts, and it did not see the light of day until the year of 1995, where it aired and screened at a Cannes Film Festival, and it wasn't released theatrically until 1997 when Lamberto, Mario's son, he fought to get the rights back, finally won it back from the courts, and they released it. Now, of course, you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference between Rabid Dogs and the Kidnap cut? There are 2 cuts. If you watch the Kidnap cut, you will see at the end there's scenes that have been added by Lamberto and company. They went back and added some scenes in. I don't really like that stuff. To me, the Rabid Dogs cut is the cut of the 2 to watch because it is the movie intended the way that it was supposed to be, and Mario's product is finished as it could be. So I do recommend, if you're going to watch one cut, watch the Rabid Dogs cut. But I do think in that vein, either cut, you're still getting a really, really good movie. You're just getting some added stuff in the Kidnapped cut that otherwise wasn't there when Mario originally filmed it. So Mario never saw the finished product. He fought for it in 1975, didn't win, goes on to make Shock in 77, helps out with Inferno in 80, and passes away in that same year. Mario Bava dies in the year 1980, and we never get any more Bava movies after that until this one gets posthumously released nearly 20 years later, over 20 years later. I mean, to me, it's a great swan song. To me, like, if this is your last movie, it's a lot better than Shock, right? I like Shock, but it's a lot better fucking movie than Shock, let's be honest. And rest in peace, Dario Nicolodi, for that matter. It's a lot better movie than Shock. To me, it's cool that they were able to recover it. They were able to release it. I think it's a movie that, like I said, you feel all the grit and the grime and the uncomfortability in the picture. All the actors do. This might be the best Bava movie for acting. Like, all of these actors do such a good fucking job. Like, and dude, I'm telling you, I know some people, they can't watch like movies that are dubbed, right? They can't watch the English, like, bad dub. Dude, the English dubbing, never watch that of this movie. Watch it in Italian. It's like a must for this movie. Like, this is a movie that you need to watch in Italian. Like, no questions asked. Like, I don't care how much you can't stand subtitles. You need to watch it with fucking subtitles because it will completely ruin the experience if you. It's like House by the Cemetery. Never watch the English dub. Like, you need to watch the subtitle version. Kidnapped is great. I really like this movie. I think it's just great. It's Mario Bava transitioning from something that he wasn't really used to doing, and I think he hit a home run. I think everything about it works. The horror in it, the psychology, the twists, the turns, the uncomfortability, the grit, the grind, the heat, and the claustrophobia that you feel, to me, is why Rabid Dogs is an all-time classic. And definitely, I would say a top 5 Bava for me. It's not top 3, but it's top 5 for sure. Let's see what you guys have to say here in the comments, though. I think we were here. Rabid Dogs cut is the best. Lamberto fucked that new cut up. George Eastman is so good in it, and that whole ending is a gut punch. It really is. And okay, I guess I will spoil the ending because I was trying to beat around that bush, but like, we can talk about it. Spoiler alert for a movie that was made in 1974. Granted, it's only been around since 97, so it's what it is. But it's around about as long as I am, as far as its release in the theatrical sense goes. What happens is there's a big, like, Mexican standoff, which I always think is kind of funny because Rabid Dogs, Reservoir Dogs, it's kind of life imitating life there. There's a big Mexican standoff at the end of Reservoir Dogs. Rabid Dog kind of has the same thing. The last 2 people, right, the woman and the man, they're being taken out of the car, and you think they're going to get shot. And then one partner, Blade, shoots the lead guy. Our guy that has been driving the car the whole time, he shoots the lead villain. And then she gets gunned down and running towards the car by Blade as he's lying on the ground. So all these people get shot, except of the guy that's been driving the car with the sick son, right? He says the whole movie, I have the sick son. He could die. I'm worried. I'm concerned. And the big twist is it's not really his son. He kidnapped this kid away from this woman who calls him on the phone. He says, I want 3 billion lire, and I want it now. Like, I want it in 2 days at least, or your son dies. And the woman just starts crying, and the guy just drives away in his car. It's a big, like, oh my God, we thought the people breaking into this car were the evil ones. And meanwhile, the guy that they were hijacking, he was the worst one of all. Really, I think a great twist, a very Twilight Zone-esque twist, really good, like a whole, oh shit, like just when you thought these guys were bad, the guy driving the car the whole time that we were so much cheering for and so much empathizing with and being like cheering for him, right? Like, come on, man, like save your son. We want to see you get to the other side. He was a piece of shit, even bigger than they. So I love that. I love how that's done. Rabid Dogs is one sleazy movie. I love it. I love it too. To me, it's like, it's unlike anything else he ever did, really. It kind of begs the question, if he was allowed or still, obviously alive, would he have made more movies like this? Would this have continued? Would it have been more stuff like Shock, or would he have gone back to this well of exploitation? Because, man, if this was the one and only exploitative picture you had, holy shit, who knows what else you could have made? That's kind of the mentality I have with it. Of course, selfishly, I want any other Bava movie, no matter what it is. But man, what could have been? What could have we have gotten if the man had lived longer? Love Rabid Dogs, his most sleazy, easy. Yeah, no, great movie. I feel like this movie feels like a precursor to From Dusk Till Dawn because of how that movie first begins. Yeah, that's definitely, I can see what you're saying there, and it definitely has acting is good from Dusk Till Dawn. Like the acting is like right on par. Rabid Dogs awesome. Completely agree. Love this movie. Eastman was very involved behind the scenes with the writing, script, doctoring, producing, especially with Joe D'Amato. That ending is pure chef's kiss that you don't see coming. No chance. Believe it or not, I remember the first time I watched, I'm like, yeah, this guy is too fucking cool. Like I was like, I didn't suspect what it ended up being, but I was like, there's no way that this guy is so like white knight and shining armor. Like there's no way. Like I knew there had to be something. Love that ending. It's great. People saying, hell yeah, the movie is not talked about enough. Love this film for Italian standards. The acting is very good. Okay, I'm completely with you there. To me, upon a rewatch, the acting was just the standout. Like, holy fucking shit, man. It's just so good from top to bottom. Definitely did take that from Last House. Yeah, I think so too, for sure. So yeah, Rabid Dogs is not really known to the masses. It definitely needs more eyes, for sure. Yeah, it's so far away from his other films. Feels more like a Lenzy to me. Yeah, no, and it's, I don't know, like, I appreciate that he tried something like this. Like, to me, it's so cool that he, went out of his comfort zone and made a movie this good in a separate subgenre. I think that's what's so cool about Rabid Dogs, aka Kidnapped, aka whatever you want to call this particular movie. It's awesome no matter what. But yeah, no, those are the three Bava movies tonight. I mean, if you want, I could quickly do like a ranking of his movies, which would be kind of fun. Granted, we will. I want to make this a tradition. Maybe we'll do a yearly tradition of Mario Bava Black Fridays, which would be fun. But let's see if they have a tier maker. I would totally do it right now. Yeah, it looks like there is. Wow. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Let's play this game. Why not? Let's play this game really quick before we end the show here. I'll go quick. I won't keep you guys all night. But this would be fun to do. Mario Bava tier list, and it's all in Italian, which is very fun. That is really, really cool. So let me go here. Let's see what we got here. We can even keep it to strictly horror. We could do that. Let's see. Tears up. Oh yeah, Hail Bava, absolutely. I'll keep it strictly horror. So let's do strictly horror / Giallo. Black Sunday. So let's see the categories first before we start ranking them. Matteo, we might need you to. Okay, actually no. It deciphers it for Chef d'Ivoire, masterpiece. Péché de Résistance, main dish. Tour de force, feat of strength. Magnum opus, great work. Comme il faut, proper effort. C'est discutable, it's debatable. Mediocre. A diabolical, haven't seen it. Nope. Okay, there's an over amount of categories here, but let's just fucking do it. Black Sunday. Where does Black Sunday fit? Tell me all in the chat. Where's Black Sunday fit for you? Would it be in the masterpiece category? Would it be main dish, feat of strength, great work? Where do we think with this one? Hell yeah, Mario Bava. Tier is up. Hell yeah, let's do it. We got Black Love reviews right at the end here. What is going on, everyone? I just pre-ordered Bay of Blood and the Ghost Teacher. Well, yeah, hell yeah, man. Bay of Blood, that's going to be good. It's French. Is it French? Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. It's French, masterpiece. Okay, well, I should have known it's French, but for some reason, my dumbass thought Italian because we're talking about an Italian filmmaker. We had one for masterpiece. Does anybody else want to chime in on what they think this one is. Is this a masterpiece? I think it's close. It's certainly, and if you're just talking gothic horror, it's certainly a masterpiece. But if we're talking all around, does it get the masterpiece mark for me? I don't know. I'm on the fence. Anyone else want to chime in before I rank this one? We got masterpiece, main dish, feat of strength, great work, proper effort, it's debatable, mediocre, a debacle, haven't seen it, and nope. I mean, I don't know. I think it would have to be at least in one of those top three. Masterpiece, yes, but not my number one from him. I would agree. It's not my number one either. I only saw Black Sunday once, and I was a bit drunk, so I'd have to watch it again and truly judge it. But one thing for sure, in terms of atmosphere, it's basically in a league of its own. That's a great point. All right, so we have three people saying masterpiece. I'm going to say main dish for me. It's right there. It's great. It really is. It honestly could be masterpiece, but in Mario Bava's filmography, there are movies I like more, believe it or not. Let's see. Hercules in the Haunted World. I'm going to stick with the horror here. The Girl That Knew Too Much, aka Evil Eye, which again is another movie where there's multiple cuts. This is widely considered to be the very first giallo ever made. John Saxon is in it. Really, really good movie. Best Italian Gothic film ever. Okay. If you put this movie in masterpiece, then they're all masterpieces. That's right. That's why I feel like I have to have some kind of rating system here. So I'm going to say like it's the second one down. Because I love Black Sunday, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to say second one down. And actually with the Evil Eye and The Girl That Knew Too Much, I'm going to go the same route here. I think I'm going to go, let's grab them both because they're basically the same fucking movie. I know there are differences between the cuts, but I'm going to say either feat of strength or main dish. I'm going to say feat of strength with Evil Eye / The Girl That Knew Too Much. Great movie, great giallo. Obviously, the first considered to be by most. I would say that I like the telephone segment even more so than it, but I mean, both are really, really great. But I would say, yeah, that's going to go in the third tier for me. Feat of strength. Really like that movie. Black Sabbath, one of the all-time great horror anthologies. I'm sorry. This is an absolute slam dunk in a masterpiece. Like, to me, that's the first masterpiece that he did is Black Sabbath. Like, one of the all-time great horror movie anthologies. I love all three segments, the telephone being my favorite. Love The Drop of Water. Just great stuff. Girl Knew Too Much is main dish. Without it, we don't have Italian job. Yeah, exactly. It's hard, right? Because that's the movie that gave birth to it. So it's really hard to like not put it in the mainstream. Telephone, yes, way ahead of its time. Dude, Telephone is like some of the best shit ever. Like that, as far as single anthology stories go, that's got to be one of the best ever. Like it's the Bobby segment in Trilogy of Terror 2. It's the Something to Tide You Over in Creep Show. Like some of these are just great. Definitely deserves masterpiece. Yeah, I'm with that. Can't argue with that. Black Sabbath, yes, one of my all-time favorite vamp stories. Okay, yes, the Boris Karloff segment. Telephone is technically a giallo. Exactly. That's what I always say that I consider that to be the giallo that got like taken more from, I guess. Like Martino totally took more from the Telephone than he did from the Evil Eye. But great, it's great. Another one that I've only seen once, but to be honest, I was very underwhelmed. Thought the Boris Karloff segment was great, but I felt the other two weren't very good. See, on the opposite, I think the other two are better. If I had to rank them, and granted, I love all three. It's the Telephone, it's the Drop of Water, and it's the Karloff one. But I love all three. I think it's a perfect anthology. It really is. So I would say Black Sabbath goes there. The Whip in the Body, I think this is, right? Is this The Whip in the Body? I can't really tell. The Whip in the Body is one of my lesser Bava movies. It's good. It's fine. Where are we going to put it, though? It's not debatable. I think it's a proper effort. I would say that's a proper effort for me is The Whip in the Body. It's one that I like Mark is saying, like I haven't seen The Whip in the Body in so long. So that's one I would really have to revisit personally because it's been too long. Drop Water is my favorite. They're all banger stories. Yeah, you can't go wrong. I love The Whip in the Body, but it's like a sexy appetizer. That's a good way to put it. I mostly just feel that the old lady / ghost character from the first segment just looked like a silly, cheap prop to me, something that didn't age well. Understandable. I mean, yeah, no, that's the beauty with anthology horror, man. It's like, when you have a Masters of Horror show or a Creep show or whatever, That of all of them, you watch episodes and certain ones are going to hit you more than they'll hit others. And that's the fun thing with anthologies. And that's why it's kind of fun to discuss. It's like, oh, I love this one the best. No, I like this one the least. Like it's a fun, like nerdy conversation starter. Great Gothic film. I agree. Whip is weak. Yeah. I'm with Mateo there. I think one of his weaker movies, horror wise. We're not going to, maybe I'll do an episode where I just talk non-horror Bava, but that one's more weak to me. Blood and Black Lace, my favorite. That's my favorite of the bunch. I love Blood and Black Lace. My favorite giallo ever. Mateo and I have talked about it to death, right? And our whole love for this movie, Don't Torture Duckling from Fulci, and of course, Deep Red Profondo Rosso from Dario Argento. I consider those to be the three great gialli ever made, the best three on a tier of their own. But Blood and Black Lace, as far as Mario Bava is concerned, that's the movie that made me a fan of him. And that to me is the movie that, in a lot of ways, when I think Bava, I think Blood and Black Lace. So that's my favorite for sure. Leah's voice dubbed. Yes, of course. Whip was a letdown with not letting Christopher Lee do his own dub. Sure it was. It was totally a letdown. That's one, it's funny. It's not in this set. It's not in the box of Bava set here at all. It's not. The Whip in the Body is not in there. I don't know why. But it skips over that one. Maybe it's a rights thing. I do believe it was released at one time. I don't know if it's still in print on Blu-ray. Blood and Black Lace, yes, a masterpiece. My favorite. I'm with you. It's my favorite giallo ever as well. I do not do 10 out of 10s, but this is like a 9.5 out of 10. See, I think it's a 10. Like I think Blood and Black Lace is as close to a perfect movie as you were ever going to get. Kino has Whip. That's why, right? But it's weird because Kino has Kidnapped as well, which they did release on this, which is weird. Like I didn't really understand that. Like I don't know. It must have been a rights thing, but I don't know why. Like I don't know what the reason is. Blood and Black Lace is perfect. I'm with you. That's totally a masterpiece Bava film. One that would be next would be Planet of the Vampires, right? Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of charm in Planet of the Vampires. Like it is funny. I love that the space people, they're all wearing like the X-Men suits. Like they're all in like the yellow and then the black leather. It's like, it looks like X-Men 3, The Last Stand, the suits that they're wearing. It's kind of funny to me. Like the suits are just so like bombastic in ways. But the movie itself has problems. I mean, the look of Planet of the Vampires is like, holy fucking Technicolor, really crazy. But the movie itself, it's rather hokey, but it's a space movie. It's a movie that largely went on to inspire Alien. It's a movie that uses a lot of those primary colors of blues and magentas and purples and reds and things like that. And it's a gorgeous film. I don't think it's top tier Bava though. Like it's just not like, it is a very cheesy space adventure directed by Mario Bava, but like I like it because of that. But it's definitely not going to be in the top. I would say either proper effort, or what was the one above prop? Great. See, that's not great. It's not great. It's a proper effort for me. I can't say the word great in this. It has good things, but it's not great. Planet of the Vamps is fun. Gothic sci-fi film. 88 Films has The Whip 2. Okay, so maybe it's got to be a rights thing. Predates Alien. Absolutely. And it also, there's a fucking movie that came out the next year. Oh God, I forget. Princess of Mars, something like that, where it was from 1966. I covered it on an episode, and Alien directly ripped off the eggs, like the xenomorph eggs from it, which I thought was kind of funny. Queen of Blood, that's what it was called. It's called Queen of Blood. Planet is lower tier for sure, but Alien owes a lot to it. I respect the craftsmanship of Bava's matte paintings and set design with a shoestring budget. Oh, I do too. I completely do too. It's just like, I guess in the grand scheme of it, it's a lower one from his horror perspective. Let's see. And then the next one would have been Kill Baby Kill, which I am leaning masterpiece. I mean, if it's not masterpiece, it's right here in main dish. I think it's main dish. I think it's, yeah, I would say Black Sunday and Kill Baby Kill are right on that same level of gothic horror classics, like really, really great gothic horror movies that like would be a great double feature or great like Halloween night movies to watch. I think both of those are really, really good. So I really love that one. Kill Baby Kill is damn good gothic ghost story. Yeah, and I reviewed it at the beginning of the show. If you catch the replay, Black Gloves, I went all into Kill Baby Kill, which I really do like. I would say main course for Kill Baby Kill. Really, really good one. Let's see. Next would be $5 for an August Moon, which I know it's unpopular. I fucking love it. I know it's considered by like everybody to be his worst movie, including the man himself. I think it was considered that, Bava himself said it was the weakest of his works. I disagree. I would say it's way more than a proper effort. It's better than a proper effort. It's a great work. And in a lot of ways, it's a feat of strength. Like, I'm in between these two for sure. Fuck it. I know I'm out of line here. $5 for August Moon is going to be a feat of strength. I think that's a fucking good movie. Like, I know I'm going to get shit for that probably, but I like that movie. You're not a masterpiece. No, definitely not. Kill Baby Kill is iconic. It is. Darren loves $5. Oh, cool. I think Dirk was saying he does too. Mateo does too. So we're not alone. I don't know. I don't think Jeff likes it. There's several people that are like, that movie's horrible. I'm like, dude, I don't like. If that's Mario Bava's worst movie, then like, that motherfucker really didn't make a bad movie. I still need to watch it. Okay, you haven't seen it. Just for Ed Weege, it's a masterpiece. Dude, Ed Weege Finek's dance at the beginning of that movie. Holy moly. And what's funny is we did the Ed Weege Finech episode earlier this year. That was by far the most watched Grande's Graveyard all year. I think it's almost at 2,000 views. And I think most of that's for Ed Weege. So long live Ed Weege. It's awesome. And that was a fun movie to revisit at the beginning of the year. Really good one, in my opinion. I don't know. I just think it's a good one. $5 is solid. I'm with you. I think it's a solid movie. I totally recommend it. Now, I will say this to Mr. Black Gloves. If you get the Kino version, unfortunately, they only have the English dub. This actually does have the Italian, dialogue and audio. So highly recommend this release of it as opposed to the Kino. Granted, obviously, the movie still looks good in the Kino edition. It's all in English. So you're going to be let down if you don't like English dubbing. And Weege Finech is in Strip Nude for Your Killer. Right, that's right. Another Blu-ray I have. And it's funny, I watched a ton of her movies. Like I devoted my whole week that week to her. And I watched a movie, it was like a comedy directed by Luigi Cozzi, with her in it. It was also oh my God, what the fuck? It was something with cards. And it was, Mateo was like, "You're watching this?" I was like, "Yeah." And it was really like her most revealing film. I mean, her ass was out the whole goddamn time. Like, it was, oh my God, man, crazy. But really, I mean, that was the best she ever looked at a movie. Mateo will know the fucking name of it. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It was like 5 cards or something. Like, oh my God, gorgeous, gorgeous. I had the Bava set, pre-ordered it. Oh, cool. Okay. So when you get that, I do highly recommend $5. I think that's a really good one personally. So let's see what else we got here. I think Bay of Blood would be next, right? Oh, no, Hatchet for a Honeymoon would be next. Hatchet for a Honeymoon, again, one of the weaker ones. Definitely, I would say it's debatable. That might be my weakest of his horror. It's either Hatchet or The Whip in the Body for his weakest. Yeah, I don't know. I've only seen that one once, and I don't remember really caring for it. Hatchet for a Honeymoon is one of the weaker ones. Which brings us to Bay of Blood, which, yeah, that's a masterpiece. That's no fucking question, doubt, or hesitation. That one's a masterpiece. Come on. Do we really have to talk about why Bay of Blood is great? Poker in Bed. That's it. That's the one. Poker in Bed. I swear to you, of all Ed Weege Finech cinema I watched, that was the best she ever looked at a movie, was Poker in Bed. Holy cow. And it was from the director, it was the guy that did The Case of the Bloody Iris, which was the only giallo that guy ever did. And I know Mateo would tell you for a good reason. But Poker in Bed was not a very good movie either, but my Lord, she was beautiful in that movie. Hatch for Honeymoon, I like a lot. It's a character piece. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't. I don't think there's Dexter without Hatchet. Interesting. Okay, you know what? That's interesting. I never looked at it from that perspective. Bay of Blood, that all LOL without. Yeah, no. And the whole slasher movement in the West doesn't happen, I don't think, without Bay of Blood. Like, and I when I reviewed it on one of the Video Nasty specials, I said this. That chunk of the movie where those kids go to the lake and they get killed off, that's exactly 25% of that movie. I think it's a 21-minute gap of that movie. And in that 25% at 21 minutes, Mario Bava created the entire Western civilization slasher movie movement. It inspired the whole thing. It's insane. As a quarter of this movie went on to create an entire wave of movies a decade later. It's just wild. Hatchet goes with He Knows You're Alone. See, I don't like He Knows You're Alone. Maybe that's why Hatchet doesn't click for me. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch Hatchet for a honeymoon. I didn't like that one. That's got to be my bottom, probably my bottom Bava. Bear and Blood, really good. I would say it's a good one. I wouldn't say great either. I would say more proper effort. Maybe, yeah. I mean, no, I wouldn't be magnum opus or great. I feel like this category should go. This category should just be deleted. Like, yes, that's okay. That's much better. I feel like this is a much better, like, fucking that one category. It's like you're not saying it's great and then it's a feat of strength. Like, what the fuck? Great special effects in Bay as well. Worked on E.T. Bear and Blood is a gothic slasher. Sure, love Dagmar. Yeah, no, I don't know. Another one that I like it, but it's not one of my faves. Like, I think Jeff is a big fan of this one. I don't know. I'm more like lukewarm to it. Lisa and the Devil, really good. Feat of strength, totally a feat of strength. If it wasn't for its ambiguity and some of the side characters, it would be in main dish. But I think those things do knock it down a couple of notches, and that's why I think I would go with Feat of Strength. Like, I think it's a damn good movie that we have reviewed here tonight, so we could largely skip and go quick over that one. Rabid Dogs, to me, the last masterpiece of his career, I would say for sure. I think Rabid Dogs is a masterpiece. And like I said, in the top 4, that would be in the top 5, I guess. Lisa and the Devil is Mario's last best, in my opinion. Lisa's number 1. Okay, wow, that is really cool. I like the Lisa love here on the show. So yeah, Lisa getting a lot of love. I would say Rabid Dogs is a masterpiece. And then House of the Exorcism is not really him. That's not even his movie, really. That's just one he signed off on. And then I guess Shock would be the last, which, yeah, Shock, it's debatable to proper effort. I'll give you proper effort just for that ending. I love the ending of Shock with Daria Nicolodi. Some of the scare sequences, right, of the guy running through the door. The door, it's like a kid. They close it on the kid, and he goes through the door, and it's a grown man. Horrifying. The whole ending of that picture, incredible. It has a lot of really good moments. Like, it takes a while. It's rough around the edges. It's his last movie. So I for personally, like, loving the guy as a fan of film. It's a sad watch. I'm like, oh, man, I miss Mario Bava. And I do love Daria Nicolodi enough. So that one maybe I'm being a little bit more lenient on. But for me, that would be the Bava ranked here. Beyond the Door 2. Yeah, exactly. I saw somebody was selling a poster of that. I was like, oh my gosh. Shock is debatable for sure. Yeah, honestly, Mateo, I'm with you. It probably is debatable, but just because it was his last and just because there's some like thing about that movie that I can go easy on it for. I don't shit on it like other people. Like, I don't know. To me, I would say Hatchet or The Whip are the worst of Mario's horror. Obviously, he made so many other movies. Was Shock in Unofficial Beyond the Board 2? Yes, exactly. Feels more like Lamb Baba, right? And it really does. And that was it. I mean, Lamb Baba took off from there, right? Macabre would come out in 1980, and Mario helped Dario with Inferno in 80 as well. So yeah, Lamb finished up the film, even though he still lived. He saw the finished product, right? It was released in 77. Mario dies in 1980. So cool that he got to see the product. So yeah, no, this would be, I guess, the top Bava movies on the top here. These 4 would be my favorites: Bay of Blood, Rabid Dogs, Blood and Black Lace, Black Sabbath. Black Sunday, Kill Baby Kill will be rounding out. So this is like the best of Bava, these 6 movies to me. And then honestly, the rest of this stuff is all really, really solid. Like, the only ones I would say, Hatchet and Whip, I would say, are the 2, and maybe Shock. But the rest, I think, all totally good movies are worth a watch. So yeah, that was fun. That was impromptu. I didn't really plan on that, but that was something fun to throw in there to make this Black Friday special a little more special. Everybody, I want to say thank you so much for a really fun night on Grande's Graveyard. It was a really, really good time. Lots of laughs, lots of fun discussions, talking all things Mario Bava, the master himself. Just one of my favorite legendary filmmakers, and one that I will totally do more of these if people want more of these. And Mateo, I know we always, like talking stream ideas. If you want to do one of these Mario Bava streams with me, feel free. Like, I'd love to do one of these down the road. Cool fun fact before we go, I'll be joining Subjective Perspective Collective in about a month or so in January. It's their first show, and they're going to do the Animal trilogy of Dario Argento. So of course, Bird with Crystal Plumage, Blood and Black Lace, Bird with Crystal Plumage, Cat o' Nine Tails, and Four Flies on Gray Velvet. We'll be discussing all three of those with Darren, I, and Dirk. So it's going to be really fun. That's, of course, you have some time until that, but always like doing these streams. Mernsy, right at the end here. Mernsy, welcome, buddy. What's up, Graver fam? Judd Nelson, we trust, right? We talked Blue City all last night. Great stream, brother. Thank you, Dirk, for watching this whole thing. I do appreciate you, man. Great stream, Grande. You say Bava, we in. Oh, absolutely, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate this from Black Glove Reviews 1979. Thank you so much for watching, bro. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend. Absolutely. Love hanging with the Graveyardians. Mark, you're always welcome, man. Thank you so much. It was a good time. Great stream, man. Have a great night. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it, man. Hell yeah, man. Can't wait. Blue Ball City. Well, what other better way to end this thing, right? Everybody, thank you. I hope you, again, had a great Thanksgiving. If you celebrated, awesome episode, John. Long live Mario. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Mateo. But yeah, no, everybody, thank you so much. Have a safe, happy, healthy weekend. And of course, we will catch you next week as we kick off the last month of the year with motel horror movies. Very excited. Motel Hell, Psycho, Vacancy 2, The First Cut. Very excited to discuss these things tomorrow night, only on Grande's Graveyard. We'll catch you tomorrow, next week, only on the Graveyard. Good night, everybody.